Once we get the guys around the moon, we'll fire up the LEM engine, make a long burn, pick up some speed, get them home as quick as we can.
They actually got the crew home the slowest way possible. All right, we're getting fast and nerdy on this one. We're talking about the PC+2 burn. PC is parasynthion, or the closest point that the spacecraft passes to the moon's surface. PC+2 is parasynthion plus 2 hours. Now, when Apollo 13 went around the far side of the moon, NASA was actually looking at 3 different possible burns to gain some momentum to get them home faster. One was actually a PC+1 burn, using all of the spacecraft's delta V, or possible engine power, and that would have them landing in the mid-Pacific at 118 hours mission elapsed time. The problem with that one was to get as much velocity as possible, they'd need to jettison the service module, but it was completely inert, so it didn't really matter. Well, 2 problems with this method. One, the heat shield would be exposed to space, to the intense cold of space, to the heat from the sun, and also potentially micrometeoroids. The other was that using all of the delta V in the lunar module's descent engine, which was the only engine they really had for these burns, meant that they had nothing left if they needed to do a mid-course correction later. Another possible burn was a PC+2 burn using all of the lunar module's descent engine's power but keeping the service module attached. This would have them splash down in the Atlantic at 133 hours MET, or mission elapsed time. This wasn't ideal because the Atlantic is a smaller target to land on. Also, this would use up all of their possible fuel for potential mid-course correction burns. Now, they could jettison the descent stage and use the ascent stage's engine, but most of the consumables they were drawing from were in the descent stage. They didn't want to do that. The last option was a PC+2 burn using half the capacity of the lunar module's descent engine. That would put them down in the larger target of the Pacific, but at 142 hours GET. And that's what they went with. NASA made this decision at about the 59-hour mark, which is 3 hours after the explosion. They already knew and had calculated they would have enough power to get the crew beyond 142 hours if they managed everything well. So while you'd imagine they'd want to get the crew home as fast as humanly possible, they actually took the slower route because it gave more wiggle room in case something else went wrong.